Shit. Get in there, you absolute legends. What's going on? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you. We're here for a lunchtime live show to discuss the latest transfer news and goings on, or lack of, whatever you want to say, at Manchester United. Let's go. Happy Wednesday, my friends. It's Wednesday the 23rd of July, 2025. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome in the live chat to everybody. Jamie Wayne, what's going on? Malps, lad, get in there, you Don. Chappie, Nas, Daz Salford, how are you, my son? Ruby Webster getting in there, Raw, Malps, lad. Everybody who's in the live chat, hello to you all. Do us a favour at the start of this show. How are you doing also there? Jamie Wayne, Rakalita, Joe Snow, Fridgie, Jamie, DJ, Disco Dave, Drifter, and everybody else. Legends. Do us a favour at the start of this one. Smash the likes on it. Give us a massive like spike. Share it around if you fancy. You can give us a repost using the link pinned at the top of the live chat there. There it is. Give us a repost if you fancy. We'll shout you out later. What's up there, Spin? Hello, greetings from Colombia. 7:06 a.m. Love it, lad. Thank you so much for getting in here. Buenos dias, you legend. Let's go, Sanjay. Let's go, Prod, Hezron, Miz. Yes, Daz. And everybody who's in here, welcome aboard, guys. Thanks for joining. Plenty to get into today. Although, obviously, Manchester United still putting our plonkers for the transfer window, aren't we? This is gash, guys. Loads of teams doing business, loads of teams getting big money spent on big players in United. Yes, we have signed Mbeumo and Cunha, and that's great. Those are good players. Diego Leon coming in. Nice. It's not enough, is it? We obviously need to get a few more players in. Certainly a goal scorer, certainly a goal stopper, and certainly somebody in the midfield there as well. So United, have to act quite swiftly now. The season's soon upon us. It's only a few weeks away. It's not even that far away, is it? No, crikey, we got this tour coming up. We're not ready, guys. We're not ready at all in terms of the squad personnel. We're certainly not ready in terms of where we're at as a team and how we're playing and Amorim's system and all the rest of it. If you look at how we did in that Leeds game, anyway, that's just one game to go off, but towards the end of last season as well, bottling it against Spurs, etc. There's obviously big problems. We need to address them. Cunha and Mbeumo addresses some of the problems in the team, but not the biggest problems. So we still have to go and get, that striker position sorted out. Hopefully we can see somebody with Premier League proven experience like Watkins or Visser going forward. But at the moment, Sesko is obviously hot on everyone's lips, isn't he? And there are new reports coming out from Christian Falk over in Germany, who says that RB Leipzig would be willing to enter negotiations if they receive a fee closer to £60.6 million for Benjamin Sesko. I mean, if that's the case, then I don't see why Arsenal didn't sign him originally. But also, if that's the case, then let's go and get this guy. Because that is not a crazy amount of money, really, is it? If that is the report, if that's accurate, they're coming out from Christian Falk, Bayern journalist, who says that RB Leipzig would be willing to enter negotiations if they receive a fee closer to 60. To me, that's a bit of a bargain, really, for a 22-year-old who seems as good as he is. And he is a good young player. He does look good on, everything I've seen from him, but I haven't seen all that much of him. Last Euros, he was bang average. But, by all accounts, you look at his record for a young 22-year-old guy, he's doing well. He's certainly doing well, and he's obviously physical, quick, and he's got a banging shot on him, all that sort of stuff. So Sesko for 60 million right now, it's not a horrendous amount of money, especially if United can maybe do some sort of deal where we can wangle a cheeky little structured deal where we pay over a few installments like we have done with everyone else, buying them on Klarna and PayPal paying 3. So if we can do that again with with Leipzig, I don't see why we shouldn't be able to sign this guy this summer, guys. And it's one of those signings that is a long-term vision signing. It's a long-term investment signing. Whereas if you spent, say, 50 million on Watkins, as much as I think that's probably better for right now, it's probably not better for a couple of years' time. It's definitely not better for a couple of years' time. And it's also, you're just going to lose that money in terms of your investment as a club, which you have to factor in when these guys are making these transfers. It's not what us, the fans, are really caring about. We don't necessarily care about signing players if they're going to leave in 4 years for free, as long as they're going to give us 4 years of great service and do the business for us now. That's what we care about. But from a club standpoint, they'll definitely be looking at somebody like Sesko saying, well, he's not going to be depreciating. He's not going to be leaving us in 4 years' time or 3 years' time for nothing. Whereas if they signed Watkins right now, or even Visser or someone like that, as much as I would like to see that happen, that is what's going to happen. And you know how these Glazer shithouses think. You know how these Glinios melts are at it, guys. Of course, they're factoring in things like that in terms of an investment, in terms of a transfer deal. It has to make sense, not just on the pitch, but also financially for these twats. So they will obviously be thinking about maybe getting somebody younger with much more miles on the clock so that they can still keep their investment. And let's face it, in 5 years' time, Sesko would be 27, and he'd probably be worth significantly more than what they pay for him right now, especially in a market that seems to be only going one way over the seasons. It's going up, isn't it? Every single year, 117 million for Wirtz. It's just crazy money that's being chucked around now for players. And seemingly, even average players going for 30, 40 million quid these days. So there's a lot of cash on the table here, and it's only going one way. It's only gone one way. So, somebody like Sesko represents a good investment for the Glazer shithouses in the Glinios melts, simply because, obviously, they will get a return on their investment if they do sell them in a few years' time. Yes, hello, Berber, lad. How you doing? Get in there, lad. How you doing? Yes, and also Midnight's in it. Guys, if you're just getting in the stream, hit that thumbs up button. Help us get to 100 likes. Feel free to share us around. Get yourself subscribed and involved. We'd love to hear from you legends. So there does seem to be maybe some sort of room for negotiations there with Leipzig. We have Christopher Weivel at the club, don't we, who had that previous working relationship there at RB Leipzig and RB Salzburg. He's worked within the RB Red Bull brand for many years before coming to United, right? So there is that link there. Maybe they've got that sort of understanding. Perhaps we could do a deal there because there's a good working relationship. Think about that. That's important. Sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. And also, if you look at the deals United have done this summer, structuring deals, potentially RB Leipzig would be open to doing that. I mean, if it was £60 million spread over a couple of seasons, 2-3 seasons, I think we would get a good deal if we could get him for that. So even if it was just 60 up front, let's face it, that's not a bad investment. Smash a 1 in the chat if you would like Manchester United to sign Benjamin Sesko for £60 million. Get your thoughts in. It is a yes from me, because it's becoming, the price would come down to the point where it's like, well, he'll be great for us for many years. Watkins will be great for us for a few years. That's the difference, really. So as much as I think Watkins may be better right now because he's Premier League proven, in 5 years' time, obviously, this guy's going to be better. Because Watkins will be like 34, 35, and this guy will be in his prime at 27. So you could have a career player here, a stalwart in the team for the next 10 years, if he's good enough, which remains to be seen. I mean, we've seen people like Højlund come in and flop it up, so it wouldn't be out the ordinary if that happened. But, he does look good. He's not too expensive at 60 million anyway, if this report from Christian Falk is indeed correct, which, again, we've heard that Arsenal couldn't get an agreement done with Leipzig because they were looking for 80 to 100 million and they weren't prepared to spend that money, so they went towards Victor Gyökeres as their new signing. That's what we've heard, so it doesn't seem like RB Leipzig would take 60 million in my eyes, but Christian Falk is a respected journalist over there in Germany, and he says that maybe they would take a fee closer to 60 million. And as we've discussed, if United could structure it over a few years, maybe it makes a bit of sense. Zayn Miyasi, thank you so much for the super sticker. He's sent me a cup of wine. Thank you for the cup of wine, lad. I appreciate that. Is that to celebrate smashing you Arsenal Hollands up on the first day of the season? You've reminded me to have a cheeky little sip, though. I will. Thank you for that, Zane. Lots of ones coming in the live chat. Yes, Berber. Yes, JK. Yes, Kimmy. William says no. But, I mean, come on. Obviously, it's not a crazy amount. If we're talking 80 to 100 million, I don't get spending that on him because we need to strengthen the goalie, the midfield, the striker. We don't have the funds to do all of those positions, get all of those strengthened. So it doesn't really add up for me to spend that much money on him. But if it's 60 million, especially if it is structured and in installments, then Manchester United will be benefiting from a good young player for many seasons, hopefully, who will be getting better. He's only going to be getting better, and he does look good. So, and also it doesn't represent bad value from United's point of view, as we've discussed with some of these other signings we could go for, just being depreciating assets and essentially leaving us in a few years' time for nothing. So from that point of view, for 60 million, if you could get him for 60 million, it makes sense on a lot of different metrics. Yes, lots of ones coming in the live chat. Don't know, could be another Asmus. Asmus. Well, I mean, he could be, but I would say, obviously, his development at this point is much further along than Gashmus Boylan's was when we signed him, because Gashmus was like 20, and he'd only really scored a handful of goals out there in Italy or whatever. At least this guy has been playing, at least the last couple of seasons at a high level, playing for Leipzig, scoring goals, so he is further along. He's the same age as Rasmus Højlund now, though, so it's like he does have the potential to come in and struggle. That's fair. I mean, he's definitely better than Rasmus Højlund from what I've seen, but that's not hard, is it? But he has potential to come in and struggle, just like anybody does coming over to a new league and a new club. Especially the Premier League, it's very tough compared to the Bundesliga. But I'd like to think that, he would be a good option for us, at least, and probably do a lot better than the likes of Gashmus Højlund, to be fair. Money problems for a club like us in 2025 is embarrassing. No, it's horrendous. We're still like 800 million in debt, lad. Yes, I like your style there, William Reedy. Get Premier League proven striker. Well, I do love the Watkins deal, but Aston Villa would have to do some sort of deal with us, wouldn't they, where they're not asking for too much. Look, 40 million, 45 million, I think we should get Watkins. But 50 million or more, it's a bit much for somebody who is close to 30, It's quite a lot. Not that 30 is very old. I mean, he'd still be great top tier for at least a couple of seasons, but it seems a bit much. It depends how much they're willing to sell him for, because at some point you've got to weigh up the value of these players. Like Visser, for instance, I think gives us the most value right now. I think Newcastle had a bid rejected at 30 million, though, for him. We're not going for him anyway. I don't know why, but Visser represents good value because he's not got long left on his contract. You can get him for about maybe 35, 40 million, somewhere in that region. They're not going to get too much more than that for him. And he's, 28, I think. So he gives you, 4 years good service, and he's not a horrendous amount of money. Watkins, if he was 40, 45, it's not bad. Obviously, still a good few years service and a top player in the Prem, proven, and etc. But then this guy, you could get 10 years out of this guy. So for a few million more, if it is only 60 million, then that does become a lot more attractive. Berber says, not saying he would be as good, but he gives me Zlatan vibes. The way he moves, the way he finishes. Something you're not telling us, Berber. My name is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. How dare you compare me to Benjamin Sesko? Benjamin Sesko should be on checkout in Tesco. Benjamin Sesko cannot hold candle to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He can... No, fair enough. I know what you're saying. He's just got like some sort of similar traits and movements and stuff, I guess. Yeah, obviously he's going to be nothing compared to Zlatan, but not many players are, to be fair. Zlatan was a freak. Zlatan was insane. Even when he was young at Ajax and stuff coming through, you look at some of the goals he's scoring, ridiculous. That whole one where he dribbles around the whole team, and it's just insane. He's scoring some ridiculous goals. But yeah, fair enough. I mean, obviously, let's let's hope for the best. Let's aim for the stars. Zamiasi, here he is. Right, yeah. What happens if Sesko ends up like Højlund? What happens if Gyökeres ends up like fucking Pepe, mate? Eh? What's that all about? That could happen to you. It's not guaranteed to happen to us, is it? Just because, this is a new manager, new era, new guy coming in up there, totally different player to Højlund. Hopefully he would be much better than Højlund. Yes, okay, I guess there's potential he could flop like Højlund. He says, you will have double Højlund. Oh, good it is not. Well, that would be not good at all if he flopped, of course. Double Højlund. Don't come in here saying stuff like that. Saying double Højlund, you're making me queasy, lad. Oh, imagine having 2 Højlunds in the team. You know what I'm starting to think? Genius move here. Swap Højlund and Onana's positions. Andre Onana can't stop the ball going in the back of the net, and Rasmus Højlund literally can't put the ball in the back of the net. Swap their positions, mate. You know what I mean? Andre Onana, new striker. Højlund, new goalkeeper. Problem solved. Oh, right. If we were in a lower league, we'd be in administration with less debt than that. Oh, yeah, no, it is crazy. We're lucky we're in the Prem with all that money coming in. United's a Goliath of a football club. It's only a club like United, really, and a few clubs like Barca and stuff like that can sustain that sort of debt. Yeah, what happens if Gyökeres ends up like Bentner? There's another one, Lord Gyökeres. Mugenyi, what's going on, lad? Welcome aboard. Great to see you. Oh, no, 30 goals a season. Still a precarious on Sesko, but we're bringing in Mbeumo and Cunha. We should provide more service. Great call. I mean, I would like to think that if Højlund started this season and played for us, he would get a lot more goals, because you're right, we should be getting a better quality of service with Cunha and Mbeumo in the team, and Bruno Fernandes and all these creative players, Ahmad. Lots of creative talents in the team that should be putting it on a plate for the number 9. So that's a fair point, isn't it, lad? Yeah, good shout. But Sesko hopefully would be, much better than Højlund. End of the day, we need to sign somebody right now that can get us 15 goals in the league at striker, with the idea that in a couple of years' time, they should be getting 20 to 25 Premier League goals at striker. That's the idea here. That's what we want. Anything less than that is an absolute failure. And that's sort of like the bare minimum, really. Ideally, you'd want a striker who's really hitting it this season and getting 20 goals, but that's just not really that realistic, I guess, for us right now, and who we're shopping around for. You look at there's only a certain, Salahs, the Haalands, the Isaacs, and all these sorts of players that are consistently hitting those numbers. So it's not realistic we can get that. But with Cunha's goals and Mbeumo's goals, that should give you, a lot of goals right there. And then obviously with the striker position sorted out as well, that'll give you a bunch of goals. Are we getting Sesko? I don't think we're getting Sesko personally, lad. No, I've got to be honest, but you never know. I mean, I feel like if Arsenal were talking with RB Leipzig earlier on in the window, and they were supposed to be very interested in signing this guy, for 60 million quid, why wouldn't they have done that when Sporting are asking for a lot more for Gyökeres? If I believe RB Leipzig may be asking for a bit more, but I mean, Christian Falk is a good respected journalist over there in Germany, so if he says that they would maybe take a fee closer to 60 million, then maybe that's true. But what does closer really mean? 60 million doesn't mean 60 million, does it mean 70 million? Closer to 60 million is something, but it's certainly not, guaranteed that they would take a lot less than what they were discussing with Arsenal, because it is known that Arsenal were sort of deep in discussions at one point with RB Leipzig, but they just couldn't come to any sort of an agreement there. So I think 60 million would be a great fee for Man United to pay, but I actually think that maybe Leipzig would want a little bit more than that. But perhaps if they were prepared to do a deal in installments, as we said, over a few years, then we might even be prepared to pay a little bit more, because that doesn't hurt us so much now, does it? Yeah, what's that? We're not buying project players, David Ornstein. Hey, fair enough. Yeah, it does seem like United's strategy this summer, is to basically go and try and sign Premier League proven talents, and that definitely helps us out. Yeah, and that would obviously be much more proven for us right now and make a lot of sense, because Sesko, someone like that, there is potential that it could be another Gasmus Boyland calamity. That has to be said. And Gasmus Boyland didn't work out, and that's because, well, he wasn't proven to any degree. He wasn't in the Prem playing regularly and getting the goals. I really don't know why Man United are not going for Visser, guys. Oh, I saw somebody's post, like some Brentford fan or whatever, and it was like, I can't remember, like bros, now rivals or something like that. And it was Visser and Mbeumo, and obviously they scored 39 goals between them last season, didn't they? 39 goals between them. He's available for maybe 40 mil max. And if his mate Mbeumo's at the club, surely he would want to go. Okay, so there is talks about, Newcastle United. Like, let's have a little look at this report here from Fab that just said, this was this morning, that said Newcastle prepared to approach Brentford again for Johan Visser, with new bids set to be submitted. Visser's keen on the Newcastle United project and Champions League chance. Negotiations set to continue. I don't know why we're not in for him, guys. It's bugging me. Because if he just ends up going to Newcastle, obviously Brentford would be prepared to let him go. They maybe don't want to lose him, but ultimately they kind of have to lose him. They kind of have to lose him. So it makes sense if United try and get this guy. Man, it is hot in this room. Hang on, I've got to open this door a bit, put this fan on a bit more. This is obscene. Bloody hell, guys. Oh. Sorry. Anyway, so yes, Newcastle bid for Visser. That's frustrating. Hopefully, with a bit of bottle on our side, we would go in for him as well. Do you want another saga? I mean, yeah, I do. I don't care if it takes the entirety of the summer transfer window, really, as long as we get him for a good price. Like I said, we should go in there and try and bully Brentford now, after they're shithousing us for 45 days or whatever, and to get that deal done. What a bunch of absolute raw shithouses. Taking ages to get that deal done. Then again, I guess they had their price and we just weren't prepared to meet that price until right near the end. We need Prem proven like Mateta and Visser. Sesko's a bum. Well, he's not Prem proven. I wouldn't say necessarily he's a bum, but he's certainly not as good as maybe like Visser or Watkins would be slotting into our team, because they are Prem proven and they do get the goals. By the way, if you're just getting in the stream, smash that like button, you legends. Give us a massive thumbs up. Hit the likes, hit the subscribe, get yourself involved. If we get Visser, should we get Mr. Britus as manager? That's a great idea, lad. And Colin as the caretaker. Visser is old. In 2 seasons, he'll be on a roll later. He's not that old, though, is he, Thugger? What is he, like 28? He's really not that old. And he combines well with Mbuemo, which, you know, makes sense. If you've already got somebody like that, makes a little bit of sense. Maybe we're waiting for Newcastle to agree everything, then pop the question to Visser going the cost. Well, I like that, Mike Scully. I hope you're right. Wilcox must be getting PTSD dealing with Brentford. Give them 30 million for Visser in 30 installments. We'll pay you £1 a week. Yeah, Mateta and Visser have had a couple of good seasons each at 29. Ollie Watkins is at least a consistent performer. You're not wrong. He's the one, isn't he, I suppose, if they can get him for a good price. But if Villa want too much, it just might not be worthwhile for us. Depends. I think 45 mil should be the limit there for Watkins. I guess we've got Garnacho as well, maybe as a bargaining chip. That could be brought into the equation. But Mateta and Visser have had a couple of good seasons each at 29. That's a fair point. Getting on a bit. Watkins is obviously still 29, but he had, what, 16 goals last season, was it, or 15? And then 23 or something the season before, so he is pretty proven. Thank you, Kadar, there, for subscribing to the channel. Yes, lad. If you guys are new like Kadar, give us a cheeky little subscribe. Thank you so much there. Kadar, lad. Yes. Visser's 29 in a few weeks. Fair enough, but I mean, look, people talk about 29 like it's ancient. If you're getting somebody at 29, they're basically in their prime, you know. If you sign him for a 3 or a 4 year deal, that's going to take him up to 32, 33, or you know, I mean, that's absolutely fine. And then what? Then he leaves. So that's it. You're getting still the best years, really. Well, more or less the best years. I'd say the best years of a striker are probably from like 27 to 31 in general, I suppose. But you just, you know, experience is important. Visser could slot in no problem if he came in late in the winter. That's it as well. He could. Yeah, you're not wrong there, Stephen. It makes sense because they have that understanding there together with Mbuemo. What's going on with Mateta? Well, I mean, I know we've been linked to him, but I don't think there's any movement from our side of things. Youngkin says we need a new midfielder or Casemiro some roller skates. Yes, indeed. Right. Okay, let's get into this actually very quickly. You've reminded me. So we'll move on from talking about the striker position. Obviously, Sesko is on the agenda. Maybe there is a price tag of £60 million, which has been set maybe by RB Leipzig. That would be brilliant. I mean, Christian Falk says that they take something closer to that, especially if it was structured. United might be interested in going for him, and it represents good value, and he's a good player with lots of potential. You know, these other Prem-proven players, they're great, but in a few years' time, they will be leaving us for basically nothing, and, you know, we'll be looking for a new striker soon enough. Whereas this guy, Sesko, if he's good, he could be our striker for many years to come. Let's get on to the midfield position here very quickly. Zayn Miyasi, thank you so much for your super chat here again, Zayn. He says, Marcus Rashford's Barcelona move is no-win scenario for Manchester United. Spanish side will have 26 million option to buy if all goes well. If he struggles, club will be left with depreciating asset. Why'd you care, mate? I mean, why'd you care? Say me, ask you, Arsenal scummerland. No, to be fair, Rashford's Barcelona move, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a no-win scenario. It's a small win scenario for Man United, isn't it, really? Because we've got him off of our books. We're saving like 14 million quid this year by not having to pay him, lad. That's a significant amount of money saved. And then also they have the option to buy him, you know, for 30 million euros, as you say, 26 million pounds in a year's time. I mean, that's not a lot of money for Rashford, I agree. It's not a lot of money, but also he is a bit of a toxic melt, and he costs us a lot of money. I mean, his contract is for 3 years, right? So 40 million a year, that's 42 million pounds we're expected to pay him over the 3 years. Think about that, Zane. So that's why the buy clause is only 30 million euros, because whoever takes him on is going to have to commit to paying him 14 million quid a year or something. So, you know, let's just put that into perspective a little bit. His wages are crazy. They're much more than what he should be getting paid. And so for that reason, actually, the price tag must be lower. Otherwise, you're never going to sell the guy because his talents are not top tier. We're not talking about Kylian Mbappe here. You know, he's like Kylian Mbappe or something. He's not as good. He's a bit of a flapper, you know. So I don't know about that, you know, Zane, to be fair. It's not an ideal deal for us. I would have preferred to have sold him this summer for 40 million, of course. But I understand why there's difficulties trying to sell this guy. simply due to the fact his wages are crazy. He's not that good, and his attitude's a bit gash. So actually, I don't see it as that bad of a deal. It's not as good as I would have liked. I would have liked it if we'd sold him right now and got the money to spend. Yeah, exactly. We're saving 15 million in wages. Exactly. It's a lot of money saved here. Precisely, Berber. And we've got this toxic melt out of the team. We're better off now, can start games with 11 players on the pitch, not a sulking melt walking up. Damn right. We need players who can work hard in the team and who have a good attitude and work hard. Mbuemo, for instance, covered more ground than any forward in the Premier League last season. Hard-working individual, that's what we need. And obviously the plan with Amorim's pretty clear, isn't it? Get the toxic melts out. So we know that Sancho and Garnacho not travelled with the squad, not taking part in the tour, because we're trying to get rid of these melts. To be fair to Amorim, he set his stall out, hasn't he? It's been firm. None of this, let's just welcome these guys back in because we can't find a new club or struggle to get a new club for him. No, they're out in the cold where they should be because they've been melts, and you need to get that toxicity out of the club. One thing about Sir Alex Ferguson's reign, what made him so awesome and impressive, is he set a very high standard at the football club. So like when he first came in, I remember reading in one of his books, when he first came into United, he was like pretty disgusted with the level of professionalism with the players in the squad. They were all pissheads, they're all getting on it, they're all getting wankered, and he had to try and over time instill a more professional attitude and mentality and just be professional. And obviously it's not going to happen right away. Some people are going to have a problem with it. Some people are going to want to continue to get pissed up on a Saturday night or whatever it is. Some people are going to just continue to want to do things their way, and obviously you're going to butt heads. It's going to take time to get certain players out, certain players in that match your sort of mentality, and Fergie was obviously brilliant when it came to sort of man management, but also setting the tone for the professionalism. You had to reach a very high standard if you want to be getting selected for Fergie. You had to be training well, working hard, So I think that's what it comes down to, really. Amorim's trying to change the ethos a little bit here, not pander so much to these egomaniac little melts, and try and set a more professional tone, a hard-working tone at the football club. Yeah. And Onana dives in time zones. When he starts his dive, it's GMT. But when he finishes his dive, it's Central Eastern Time, mate, or whatever. I don't know what the time. Fair play. Okay, so let's talk about it, guys. Let's go on with the midfield position here. So we talked about the strike. Let's talk about the midfield position quickly. So there are reports now that United are working on Javi Guerra. So Man United are ready to finalise £21.5 million signing of Javi Guerra. Javi's given a verbal green light to join Old Trafford despite interest from elsewhere. Red Devils want to wrap up the deal quickly. This is from Sebek Ravane. It's via United exclusive. There's also more reports that he's rejected. This is from Matti Moretto, a more, I'd say, reputable source, but whatever. Says Javi Guerra has rejected Valencia's contract renewal proposal, but he will continue to negotiate and will also try and understand if other teams such as AC Milan, Manchester United and other clubs in Spain will make concrete moves. So again, this may just be a speculative link. It also may be this guy may be trying to use Manchester United and AC Milan to leverage a better deal, signing a new contract for Valencia. We don't know this right now, but there are reports that United have talked to the player and that we are maybe interested in getting him in. And obviously this report is a little bit strong because I haven't seen anything about this from, the Fabs or the Ornsteins or anything like that. But United ready to finalise the £21.5 million signing of Javi Guerra. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot of money. I don't know a great deal about him, to be fair, as I don't watch a lot of La Liga, to be fair. I just mostly watch the Premier League. So don't know a great deal about him. But we need midfielders, don't we? We certainly need to get some more players in there. Yeah, Hydri says he just wants a better offer from Valencia. I think you're probably right, Hydri. Makes sense, doesn't it? A lot of players and agents and use Manchester United as a little bit of a bargaining chip because they know we're bloody desperate, mate, and we usually pay good money for players as well in terms of wages, so it makes sense to link players to us. So there you go. I mean, look, if he's rejected Valencia, he might be open to joining a club like United if we were prepared to go for him, but again, United just don't really seem to be moving too much right now. Yeah, Excelinator says Xavi would be a good get. Sounds a lot like agent talk to get higher wages. Yeah, I'm with you there as well. I completely agree. I think that's what it is really down to, really. It's probably them trying to get a negotiation done there with Valencia. But again, if they're not happy with what they received there, then they may well be open to moving. They want 26 million, Pig. Well, 26 million is not a crazy amount, is it, Jamie? You know, Charlie, thank you so much for getting yourself in there and subscribing to the channel there, Charlie, lad. Legend. If you guys are new like Charlie, please do us a massive favor, hit the subscribe button. We're nearly at 91,600 subscribers. We're not that far away. If you're new here for the first time today, we're on here daily, every lunchtime, giving you the latest lunchtime Manchester United transfer news updates, and we have a great community vibe around here. So get yourself subscribed and involved if you're new. Legends. 26 million will get him. Yeah, okay. So I'll be honest, though, out of all the links, maybe it's because I just haven't really watched this guy this much. But if you, out of all the links for midfield, he's not the one I would really want to go for myself. I'll be honest, not the one I'd really want to go for myself. He's a little bit young, isn't he? Maybe more of a project player, as we were talking about. You know, is he ready to come in and slot in right now and do the job for us? Maybe, but it is a different animal coming in the Premier League. Interesting shout. He says, yep, there you go. Xavi could be our Rodri if he reaches his ceiling. Go get him for 26. A fair play, but that's it. If he reaches his ceiling, potential is there, obviously, and obviously he's a good player, but is he going to come into the Premier League straight away and slot right in there? That's the issue, isn't it? Isaac's been offered Rashford money from Liverpool, so he now wants that Newcastle. It makes sense. Never heard of him. Let's get him. Let's go, Tenderloin. Hey, BNG Darts, g'day from down under, mate. Get your subs in, people. Thank you, BNG Darts. Yes, please do get yourself subscribed there if you're new. Legend BNG, hope you're well, dude. Come on, thanks for getting in. Two things could be happening here. One, he's using us, or two, he wants to leave. Belabor would be great. Yeah, that's exactly right, Jamie. Hopefully he might want to leave and Man United could go for him. Yeah, but we need Belabor and Xavi to be fair. Yeah, you want him, he's decent. Fair play to you. Well, another player we're linked to at the moment as well for the midfield position, which seems to be a strong link over the summer. But again, it's probably just because we're linked to absolutely everyone. But it's Palhinha again. So there is a link here from Dean Jones today reporting that United are considering a deal for Bayern München's midfielder João Palhinha. Again, maybe there's a possibility of a loan deal. Remember, United don't really have a lot of money this summer, especially if we're going to sign a new striker like a Sesko or whatever. We haven't sold Garnacho. We haven't sold Sancho yet. So how much money have we realistically got to play with? That's the thing. We might have to do some dirt cheap deals and maybe also do some loan deals. So he could be on the list as well. I must admit, I'd rather get Palhinha on loan right now because it frees up money for us to get other positions sorted, and he's also Premier League proven. He's more experienced. Yeah, okay, would have been nicer to get him a few years back, but he's not far removed from playing in the Premier League. It's only a couple of years ago he's playing in the Premier League, bossing it, and obviously a great destructive midfielder. So I like it, and as a bit of cover, as another option in there, not bad. But again, I'd be very happy if we signed Javi Guerra too, because he seems a good young prospect, and we just need some more cover in that midfield position, really. You know, it'd be ideal to get somebody who's going to come in and start for us, but as long as we get somebody to come in and compete and challenge the likes of Ugarte, Cassie, Bruno, even for these midfield positions, then the better off we're going to be. So hopefully we can do a bit of that, to be fair. Yeah. We have Palhinha already. His name's You Garbage. I don't know about that. I mean, obviously, Palhinha, when he was in the Premier a couple of years ago doing it for Fulham, he was smashing it up, wasn't he? He was absolutely smashing it up. He was like always winning the ball recoveries, stats and stuff in the Prem seasons, etc. He was bossing it, lad. Tackles per game, all that stuff. Very, very high. Very good. Adam Wharton. Well, I don't really rate Adam Wharton. In an ideal world, we would sign someone like Adam Wharton, but Adam Wharton apparently would be going for somewhere in the region of, £80 million. Jay United, how you doing, lad? He says we've got 120 likes on the stream. Thank you so much, everyone who's hit the likes. There's 129 likes now. Get in. 273 watching. That's less than half of the video. Those are some Gashmus Boylan stats right there. Smash the likes, you legends. You find it difficult to be optimistic while Onana is still number one. Desperate for a goalie. Yeah, that's a fair point. We are still in the midst of playing with Flubberhand in goal. Not interested in potential. We should buy proven players. I like your style, mate. Yeah, he says no to Sesko or Guerra, yes to Palhinha. Hey, fair play. Never heard of Palhinha. Let's get him. Oh, come on. Surely you've heard of Palhinha, lad. His legs are gone. I don't know about that, lad. I don't know about that. Wharton or Belabor would be my go-to, but very unlikely. They would be great signings, Prod, but again, they're expensive, aren't they? Hackney Marshes and Facebook Marketplace are good places to buy a cheap bargain. Let's somebody tell Amarim. We can get Fred and McTominay back, our best ever midfielders. No joke, McFred actually doesn't sound too bad right now, does it, mate, to be fair? Oh, my God. Gungshi, legend, what's going on? Great to see you, mate. How you doing today? A legend has entered. How you doing, Gungshi? And also, Gaz Wads, great to see you too, mate. What's good? You looking forward to Saturday night's game? I'm out for the missus for our 7th year anniversary. Got to play it right to get to watch the match at midnight. Oh, Gaz Wads, lad. Nice, mate. That's awesome. Well, hopefully you get to watch it, mate. You know, if she's good to you, you know, you got to be good to her. But if she's good to you, she might let you watch it. You know what I mean? Let's go, lad. Retirement home, FC Thug. You what? Hackney from Borough is who we should be signing. That's a good shout as well, Johnny. Yeah, again, I don't know the price tag on him, but yeah, fair enough, lad. Let's talk about the next bit of business then. So we've discussed the midfield. You know, Palhinha is linked in terms of maybe a loan move. It wouldn't hurt for us to get a loan move. We've done some loan moves in recent years, which sort of worked out for us for the short term, i.e., Sabitzer was pretty decent, wasn't he? He was not bad. He scored a couple of important goals. Who else was there we loaned? Igalo? Odion Igalo, I think we loaned, didn't he? Yeah, we loaned him. Also, Veghorst, didn't we? I can't remember that. But yeah, fair enough. There's a couple of potentials maybe for loan deals there. So Palhinha, but we are linked strongly with Javi Guerra, who has rejected Valencia's latest contract proposal, and he will continue to negotiate with and also try to understand if other teams, such as AC Milan and Manchester United and other clubs in Spain, are interested. So there you go. I mean, we might be in for him, and there are reports that we're talking with him and maybe could be ad for somewhere in the region of 20 odd million quid. Sounds all right. And Palhinha, obviously, maybe we could make a move for him. Probably wouldn't be a permanent move, but you never know. More likely a loan move, maybe with an option to buy, but probably just a loan move. He is getting on a bit. Who knows? But if he's out of sorts there at Bayern, then maybe we could get to do a deal there, possibly. Would be nice. Mate, you viewed, thank you so much, you viewed, for the super sticker of the swirly-eyed emoji. Thank you so much. Is that you thinking about this fantastic transfer window right now? Because I get like that sometimes, mate. You know what I mean? When this window's just depressing, isn't it? They need to get someone else in there. Okay, we got Kuna. Okay, we got Ben. We're still being left behind by the teams at the top. Ulf793, another legend, has entered. How you doing, Ulfster? Good to see you, mate. What's good? Hulmand or Belabor would fit Amarim's system. Yeah, fair play. Well, Hulmand is strongly linked to us as well at the moment too, so it's an interesting one. Yeah, Reguilon didn't work that well. Fair enough. Well, he was all right. Rob always United. Let's go, you legend. Raiding a charity shop this window. Okay, let's cover the rest of it. So, Sancho, you know, we heard the other day that Sancho to Juventus was on hold from Di Marzio. He said that after investing heavily in the purchase of Consequal, Juventus now wants to wait for at least one sale on the wingers, including Nico Gonzalez, Weir and others. Okay, but then also today from James Ducker, there's reports that Juventus still retain a firm interest in United outcast Sancho, who was omitted from the squad that travelled to the US. So we know that Sancho, Garnacho, these guys not travelled. Also, Maguire's not travelled, but that's obviously due to something else. I'm not sure what's going on with Slabby Maguire, actually. Is it some sort of family situation? I'm not sure. But much love to the Slab. Let's get some love hearts in there for the Slab. I'm not 100% sure what's going on with the Slab, but we know that he's not travelling at the moment. But certainly Sancho and Garnacho not allowed to travel, not allowed to participate in the tour. It's clear Amarim set his stall out. He wants to get these players gone. And there we have it. They will probably be getting sold, but obviously we need to try and get these deals done, don't we? Let's hope it is transfers rather than just guff loan deals again. But Juventus, you know, that's what was said, is that it was on hold. But this new report from James Ducker says that Juventus retain a firm interest in United outcast Sancho, who was omitted from the squad. Juve completed the signing of Francisco Consequal from Porto on Tuesday and hoped to follow that up with the capture of Sancho. But Juve are thought to be first looking to sell Tim Weir and potentially Nico Gonzalez before advancing a move one-time England forward. So this is from James Ducker today, which is just basically re-spewing what Gianluca Di Marzio said yesterday. But that does seem to be the case, that maybe this Sancho deal is just on hold a little bit here before they can sell one or two players to maybe raise the funds to be able to just sign him. I don't really think he's going to cost a lot of money, though. I honestly saw a report a couple of weeks back that said that Juventus are prepared to pay like £8 million for him, about 10 million euros. I'd say that's about right. I know there was a few reports as well going around that 25 million was the price tag. Who's buying Sancho for 25 million and paying him 300 grand a week? It's insane. Won't happen. It's mad. Look, because of his wages, he's an 8 million quid player. I'll ask the chat, guys, how much do you think Sancho's worth, genuinely? Bearing in mind his wages and his performances. Do you know it was nearly 4 years ago? I think maybe it was 4 years ago to the day, actually, that we signed this Mel. Can you believe 4 years has gone by? Crazy, mate. I'm pretty sure it was 4 years ago, guys. I did see some post earlier. I didn't check it or anything. I think it's been 4 years since we signed this twat. What a shite 4 years he's had at the football club, eh? One of the biggest wastes of money we've ever had. One of the biggest flops we've ever seen. What a complete crumble job. That's why I don't think we can get very much money for him, because he's shit. His attitude's guff. I don't understand why any players, any teams would actually want Jadon Sancho. Goodness me, from the outside looking in, he's got to have one of the worst attitudes as a professional in modern football. This guy, if he had a proper attitude, he would be playing in the England setup. He would be in that England setup. He's got the talent. He just doesn't have the effort levels, the mentality, the professionalism. Guy's a fucking absolute bottle job, mate. I honestly don't understand why anybody would want this guy. Sancho only cares about the money. Precisely, that's it. That's all it is. 20 million, we're going after ancient fossils. 15 million, bag of crisps, 15 million, 10 of 15, £2.50. Yeah, nothing, let him go for free. Save money in his wages. Yeah, there you go, Danny. Not a bad shout, is it? I'd be prepared to let him go for nothing as well. Berber says I'd let him waddle and just get rid of his wages. Waste of space, worst signing ever. I think so too. In terms of signings, he's right up there with the very worst. Anthony's not as bad. You know, we're going to get some money back from Anthony, maybe 30 million from Batiste. Pogba was pretty shit, to be fair. That was a shit signing, but at least there was some good games in there over his 5 years when he was at the club after his second spell. But signing him back for 80 million and then losing him for free again was pretty gash. That's got to be up there. Alexis Sanchez was a flop of a signing. Didn't cost us anything up front there, obviously, but the wages were astronomical and his performance was a joke. Sancho, 10 million. He's done nothing at all worse than Rashford that I value at 20 million. Fair play to you. Fair play to you, my son. So Sancho is awful. Hopefully Juventus are going to come in for another bid soon. But right now, maybe they have to sell 1 or 2 players before they can actually get this deal done. So that's a bit depressing, isn't it? Yeah. Right. Also, you know, we are still linked with a new goalkeeper, Eddie Martinez. We're still linked with Senny Lamans. No more movements there, unfortunately. But hopefully we are going to be working on the goalie position soon. We've reportedly made contact with Lamans. And we're hopefully going to get a goalie. But I think it's clear we need to sell 1 or 2 players. Right, we're going to get into the transfer news rundown very quickly for anybody who's just got in the show. We're going to shout out everyone who's reposted us using the link at the top of the live chat there. Give us a repost on X if you could. That'd be amazing. And also smash that like on this video and hit the subscribe button. And we're going to have a Q&A now, so get involved. But before I do, I'm just going to shout out everyone and do a rundown. Big ups to the reposters on X. Thank you so much to you legends who've reposted. The 7 legends. United Flying High, Berber, Sanjay, Paul Nangle, Aaron, John Boy Cat, and Feline Fur. You legends. And Gary Wadsley as well. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you sharing it around. And we've just smashed 150 likes. Hooray. Right. And then, very quickly, if you're just joining the stream, all we've discussed today is Javi Guerra linked to Manchester United. The Valencia midfielder has rejected a new contract proposal and apparently maybe gauging the interest of other teams such as AC Milan, Manchester United, and United are understood to have some interest in him. Could be available for 20-25 million, somewhere in that region. Good young player, 22 years of age, has big potential, but again, something of a project player coming in because he doesn't have Premier League proven experience and he's not more cultured and experienced because he's only 22. So yeah, he is a talent, but again, you know, there's other options, isn't there? Such as Palhinha, which we are reportedly still maybe keen on, considering a deal for Bayern München midfielder João Palhinha via Dean Jones Soccer there. Also, Fabrizio said that Newcastle prepared to approach Brentford again for Johan Visser with a new bid set to be submitted. Visser's keen on Newcastle project and Champions League chance. Negotiations continue. United really need to have a go at getting Visser and reuniting him and Mbuemo. We really should try, but we're seemingly not at the moment. Hopefully we can. There was a big report from Christian Falk coming out from Germany that says that RB Leipzig would be willing to enter negotiations if they receive a fee closer to 60 million pounds, which is obviously significantly less than what we thought maybe RB Leipzig would want at 80 to 100 million. But I find it a little bit speculative and a little bit far-fetched, just because I feel like if he was 60 million pounds, Arsenal probably would have gone and signed him earlier on in the window when they were reportedly in negotiations there with Leipzig for him. So I don't think he would be available for that little, but you never know. If he is 60 million pounds, that would be, I think, good value because he is only 22 and obviously big potential and could come in and do a good job for us now, hopefully. Watkins, I would still prefer. Visser, I would still prefer, but only for the right price. There comes a point when Benjamin Sesko makes sense financially, longevity-wise, you know, appreciating asset-wise. It makes more sense long-term, maybe, for Sesko. And also, as we've mentioned, just Sancho there, still on the Juventus list, but they haven't, they haven't got anything in place for him yet because, well, they don't have the money, apparently. Yeah, they have to do some business to sell. Right, so there you go, guys. That's the latest news. Thanks, everyone, for the reposting. Thanks, everyone, for getting in here. We're going to get into the chat now. Have your say. Get your thoughts in. I'm going to stick around for a bit and have a little cheeky Q&A. You know what? I just need to grab a can, guys, or something. I am absolutely parched. I didn't come prepared here, guys. Give me 1 second. What's that? Saka cooking Milan. You what there, Zane? Zane Miassi, thank you so much there. Oh, yeah, we like Popeye with his spinach, mate. Cheeky deep-fried battered can of iron brew, my son. Oh, let's get stuck into that. I've actually got a cup here with a bit of ice cube in as well. Nice. Okay. Guys, let's get stuck into it. What is Zane Miassi on about again? Nobody cares about Saka or Milan. Precisely. What did Saka do in the second leg against PSG in the UCL? Nothing, mate. Exactly, mate. Saka looking garbage, mate. More like Saka's fucking bollocks, mate. Johnny says, got to get Mateta for me. Sesko, he's not worth 50 million. Don't know. He's only 22, isn't he? Good record. We actually were looking at the stats. So no player under 23 in the Europe's top 5 leagues has scored more goals than Sesko in the last 2 seasons. That isn't bad, is it, for a young player, is it? Come on, I know it's Germany, but still. Let's go, Aaron. Thank you for the Iron Brew emojis. Midnight, so Pig, you owe me £20 when Glock 9, 20 bags, 20 plus Prem goals. You accepted the bet live on stream. Don't be a melt and bottle out now. Midnight, so, yeah, okay. I mean, I'm still happy with that bet, to be fair. So you're saying that he has to get 21 goals minimum, right? Or just 20. Either way, I'm happy with that bet there, Midnight, lad. Yeah, sounds like you're going to get pumped, lad. You won't get 20 goals this season, mate. I think you'll end up with Watkins or Calvert-Lewin. Well, hopefully Watkins and not Calvert-Lewin. You prefer Watkins over Sesko or Mateta? For the right price, I definitely do. He's the most proven and experienced player right now. Good presser, works hard. Yeah, I think he would be slot in and score 15 goals in the league. No worries for us. So, yeah, I agree. But obviously, Sesko's a long-term plan. Watkins leaves in 4 years for free. That's the only thing. If we sign all these old grandfathers, our team warm-up routine will mainly be our players putting their dentures away. These aren't grandfathers, though, Thugger, that we're signing here, man. For a start, you look at the players we've signed, 25-year-olds like Mbeumo and Kuna, 25, 26. And then also we're looking at signing... We signed Diego Leon, he's young, but we're looking at signing maybe Sesko. But even if we went for someone like Watkins, only 29, mate. Yeah, Zane's spying through his window again. He's cooking a naan. Oh... Let's hijack Visser just to make Newcastle get PTSD. Yeah, oh, definitely. And to piss Brentford off. The fact Sancho would be fine. I think Brentford are really going to struggle this year. Everyone's circling them like vultures right now, picking off the pieces of Thomas Frank's carcass that he's left behind there. You know, or Norgard's gone. Mbeumo's gone. Visser's going to be going. But we should send in another vulture and pick up that Visser if we can. Prod says the fact Sancho would be fine with sitting in the club but racking up the wage and not pushing for a move, especially with the World Cup around the corner, shows what sort of attitude and mentality he has. I know he's got the talent to be involved in that World Cup if he had a good season, but he's a prat. No, I'm with you, lad. 3 number 10s now? Well, it seems like we've got more than that, really. I think like we've got like 4 or 5 number 10s, don't we? We've got Mount, Bruno, Mbeumo, Cunha, Xerxes. You know, we've got quite a few there. We don't really need them all. No chances he getting 20 goals, let alone 21. I'm with you, lad. I don't think he will either. Zane Miassi with another super chat. Zane Miassi's got that crown. Check that out. He's got the crown today. That's disgusting. Zane Miassi with the crown. That's horrible. We are beating Milan and you couldn't beat Leeds. It's just one game in pre-season there, Zane. How many teams could you not beat? How did that Champions League semi-final go for you there, Zane? Do you know what I mean? How many teams have you not beaten? It's one game, lad. It's one pre-season meaningless game, lad. You would have been better off saying you couldn't beat Spurs. Then I would have at least said, oh, fair enough. You know, we did get done up by those Spurs shithouse in the Europa. But Leeds, who cares about that, mate? It's just one shitty bullshit pre-season game. Yeah, we want to win. Yeah, we weren't happy about it. But goodness me, we made like 11 changes in the game and playing a bunch of kids and all sorts. Just a fucking run-out, mate. Poor performance, yeah, but just a run-out, mate. Sesko does not pass the eye test. For me, he is too much. Maybe that's it. The value needs to be right for United. It needs to not be more than that anyway. If it's 80 million, it's just not really worth it for us. If we sold Bruno in Jan, I hope we go for easy pig. I'd be happy with that. Oh, yeah, certainly that would be a great shout as well. Mateta would also be class. Mateta, Visser, Watkins, Cliver, all these sorts of proven Prem players would be decent. Who's Mrs. P's favourite current United player? That's a good idea. That's a good question, actually. I'm not too sure. That's a very good question, you know. It's probably Bruno Fernandes. Probably is Bruno, but I'll have to ask her. That bet's hilarious. Yeah, I don't think he's going to go. But genuinely, I really think you'll end up with Watkins. By the way, he's saying don't me welch on it. Goodness me, if he doesn't score 20, we'll never see from that midnight guy in the live chat ever again. You know what I mean? I think we should put this in escrow, mate. Yeah, midnight? Oh, you want to do this 20 bet, do you? You want to do this 20 bet, yeah? Let's put it in escrow, mate. Yeah? That's right. I'll put 20 in, you put 20 in, it goes in a cheeky little account there in escrow, lad, and then winner take all. Yeah? How much is that Tony worth who was at Brentford? Might be worth linking with. That's a good shout as well. I think his wages are the problem there. His wages are very high, hence why he went out there in the first place. Because the only reason you're going out there is for the money, and he's getting big money tax-free out there. So I actually don't think we could do that unless their club was prepared to, like, I don't know, loan him to us while we cover some of the wages or something. Francisco says, I'm reading in the news that Javi Guerra is being considered. Hope it's true. Yep, we've been talking about that. Hope it's true. Yes, I mean, it would be a nice addition, wouldn't it? A good youngster. We certainly need a new midfield. A couple of new midfielders, really. Few teams going to struggle, Piggy. Brentford, West Ham, Bournemouth, United, and then the 3 promoted. I'm not so sure if Bournemouth will struggle that much, really. They seem to recruit very well, don't they? And yes, okay, they've lost a couple of players, got big money for them. They kept Semenyo, though, didn't they? Kept Semenyo to a new deal. I think they'll be all right, you know, Tommy. But Brentford, I think Brentford are really going to struggle this season. Yeah, losing their manager and a few good players. Mark Harris says Hoyland's world class at putting a new toilet roll on the holder. 3:45 seconds. Wow, that is quick. Would RB Leipzig do Klarna installments? They might do, you know, Josh. That's it. If they were prepared to do a cheeky little PayPal pay in 3, then maybe we could do the deal there. Bring Sesko. I wouldn't say no, Ishmael, lad. Yeah. Harry Maguire. Guerra in English means war. That's what we need in my midfield. War. Does it really, Francisco? Mate, we should sign him just for that name alone. You're telling me his name's War? That's absolutely amazing. His name's Javi War. That's brilliant, lad. 60 million. That's joking, right? We're talking for RB Leipzig. Well, there's a report from Christian Falk, respected Bayern journalist, that they would be closer to maybe getting 60 or wanting 60 million for him. But again, it's speculative stuff. I don't know if they'd take as little as that. We know Arsenal tried earlier in this summer and were unsuccessful in getting a deal done, so I don't think it would be 60, but there you go. Mrs. P only likes Moisey. Oh, yeah, she does, doesn't she? You can hold the bet money for you until the end of the season. Thank you, Santos, for that's a great shout. Mr. Mister says, I could see Sesko scoring goals for Arsenal because of how many chances they create. I don't think he'd fit United. He's not an Amorim type striker. Interesting. I wonder if what's going to happen is Sesko ends up going to Arsenal and Gyökeres ends up going to Manchester United. We should be going for Isaac at whatever cost. Oh, yes, we should, Dave Grant. 100%, lad. Yeah, it would probably cost 120 million plus Ruben Amorim's liver and his kidney and the Glazer shithouses, greasy handshakes as well. But in all fairness, Dave, it's just never going to happen, is it? There's no way in hell that Isaac signs for us right now because of where we are, unfortunately. That's exactly who we should go for. 15 years ago, if Fergie was at the club, that's who we would go for, probably. But right now, there's just no way he would come. As long as the markets go down, I'll be happy. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? They are wild how much money's being thrown around. Thoughts on the clinical Dutch striker, Wout Weghorst? Great young talent, mate. One for the future, for sure. But no, on the money being spent, obviously United signings don't look that crazy now, really. For the structured deals that we've done for Mbeumo and Cunha, they look kind of reasonable with the sort of standard players you're getting with their proven goals. Whereas you look at some signings that have been made by the likes of Liverpool from players from the Bundesliga, 117 million for Wirtz, 95 million for Ekitike, this sorts of money being thrown around. I think our deals are actually not too bad. You'd sooner do a Klarna for Isaac. Well, if we could. Mackham's Onana in English means shy. Cobby and Ugarte, the two in midfield would complement each other. Well, we've got to try it out, don't we? They're going to be some of our long-term options. Obviously, Bruno's getting on a bit now. He's still got many years. Will he be able to do it deeper for us in that team? Casemiro, obviously not the most mobile, getting on a bit. Surely Cobby and Ugarte, these sorts of guys, are going to get a lot of opportunities this season to prove themselves. Anthony plus 20 million for Sesko. Go on, Sheikh! What a great comment. We didn't even think about maybe giving RB Leipzig a player in return. Maybe Christoph Feivel can do the bits for us there and negotiate. After seeing Gyökeres' shit-heading ability, we dodged a bullet. I don't want that Mel anyway. Not proven in the Prem, lad. Content idea, mate. What if Sir Alex Ferguson managed United in 2025? And what players would he have? Interesting to see who you think we would actually have today. Mate, that's a banging idea for a video, actually. That's actually incredible. I like that. I really like that, Jay. That's banging, lad. It would just be like, you know, but it'd be like the sickest player. We'd have Donnarumma in goal now, blatantly. You know, it would be different. If we were successful and had Fergie, come on, we'd be up there. Guerra in Portuguese also means war. The second Leipzig see United. We blatantly have Harry Kane at striker and Donnarumma in goal right now. Blatantly, mate. If it was the successful 30 days. Arsenal were quoted 90 million for Sesko. Arsenal walked away. How can we afford that? I don't think we can. And this is a new report that's come out today saying his price is less. So let's hope so. Carlos Baleba would be an ideal addition for our defensive midfield position, but guess we won't afford his price. That again, unlikely. Same goes for Adam Wharton, like him, but he's going to cost too much money. Only if we somehow get top 4 do we have a chance at Isaac if he stays the next summer. Precisely, yeah. Good afternoon. How's things? Things are okay, Links Red. Thanks for asking, mate. Not too shabby, lad. De Gea would still be here. Ten Hag, you mug. That's a good point, Fire Up. De Gea would probably just still be here. You're right. I didn't even think about that. Rather than having Donnarumma here, we would have probably just kept De Gea. That's a good point. Weghorst couldn't hit a cow's ass with a banjo, but he would run himself into the ground for us. I like that idea, Jay. I might actually do that video, mate. I like that idea, mate. I could have some fun with that one. What team does Guerra play for and what position? He is a midfielder and he plays for Valencia, lad. Exchanging Garnacho and Sesko would be great. Nice shout, Kadar. That's a great shout. Would he be prepared to go over to Germany and play, though? I think Garnacho wants to stay in the Prem from what we've heard. F him anyway. Choose bums over heritage. You think Fergie would have booted De Gea? I don't know. I really don't. Sir Alex Ferguson definitely wouldn't have 4 AFCON players. No, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. You know, obviously the game's evolved. Sesko's a good player, but he is not a proven goal scorer. I think he's going to struggle. Why is Man United not going for Rodrigo? Well, he certainly wouldn't have Andre Onana anyway, would he? Yeah, Rodrigo. I think we can't sign him, Christian. It's too much money again, and also probably wouldn't want to come to us right now because we're in a stinking situation. Yeah, oh yeah, Harry Kane would be the one, lad, 100%. You don't get this wanting to play for Arsenal thing unless you've done a Rick Grimes and Brendan Akoma since 2004. I know. Well, I think it's this younger generation. They don't actually remember United being great. If you think about it, right, this is the sad reality. Okay, maybe not these 25-year-old players, to be fair, but if you're actually an 18-year-old player right now, you've just grown up watching teams like City and Liverpool and stuff like that be good for a while. It's 12 years since United won the league, right? So you've watched City and Liverpool and those sorts of teams dominate in recent times. So you consider them to be the best teams around right now, you know, whereas Man United, we haven't done shite for a while, so that's it. I mean, Arsenal are up there, but they're certainly not winning things. I don't get the Arsenal appeal either, to be honest. You're just destined to finish second and destined to just be a runner-up all the time. God must love Rashford so much. Yeah, well, he's certainly a lucky player, isn't he? Let's go, J-Lad. We need to get rid of players for a lot of money to raise funds. Garnacho is our best player to raise funds. Yes, he is, and he's probably the most saleable because his wages are not crazy. Apparently 20 to 25 million, Links. Can't we ship out Sancho for Sesko plus a £20 note? Now, that's a great idea. Sancho to the Bundesliga. He'd be a good signing for them. He actually really would because he's done it in the past, hasn't he? I think at the end of the window, we'll have Sesko. I'd take it. Look at the trophy cabinet, mate. Instant regret. Exactly. No Premier League title for 20 years, over 20 years for Arsenal now. It's a long time for us too, but it's even more for them. Is it confirmed from Barca yet about Rashi? I don't know if it's actually confirmed from the club directly, but it's basically as good as, isn't it? Still one more than Arsenal. I know he's signed the documents and done all that sort of stuff, so can't blame Yoker at 27. He's always wanted. I know we heard from it was going to be Wednesday, I think, from Barcelona. Let me just go and check out the latest updates, actually, that may have come out during this show while I've been waffling on for a little while. Rumours linking Rodrigo with Tottenham Hotspur are wide of the mark. He's not a target for Spurs. No, I can't see anything about that in the last sort of hour or so. Mrs. P, is that you? Mrs. P, can you come here a second? Somebody wanted to know who your favourite player for Manchester United was currently. Like, who is your favourite player currently for Manchester United? Yeah.
Slim Pickens.
Slim Pickens, she says you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. I mean, I guess my favourite would probably be, I guess, like Bruno right now, maybe, but...
I mean, if we're going back in the day, I can give you an answer, but I'm trying to think of now.
Yeah, I know now. Who's your favourite back in the day then?
Eric Cantona.
Good shout. Yeah, great shout. But yeah, right now it is slim pickings. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Slim pickings. Is Slabby your favourite, says Thugger? Slabby Maguire?
No.
No. It's not like Slabbo.
I mean, I haven't watched any live games in a while, but you've said he's improved.
He has been consistent and, professional and good. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, he's improved. But anyway, there you go. Ahmad, yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I'll come back to whoever.
Yeah, that's it. It's not an easy question these days, is it? It used to be very easy to answer. I remember on manunited.com where it says who's your favourite player. I remember for years I had David De Gea on there as my favourite player.
I remember going around the
playground
singing the, ooh, oh, Kent.
Let's go. Has to be Bruno. You hope Sesko not be a flop. Has Gyökeres officially signed? Not yet, mate. No. Vu, you have to go with Ahmad. He's a baller. A fair play to you. Yeah, great shout. Berber says, do you remember those Harry Potter sweets where it's like vomit flavour and fish?
Oh, yeah.
I don't really remember them, no.
Yeah, and some Jelly Belly ones they did, Berber.
Oh.
In fact, it was like a roulette game, and me and my daughter did it, and one of them made me feel sick all day. It was like an egg flavour. Oh, just the thought of it now.
She's pro Maguire. Who would she marry in United's team? I'll calm yourself down now. Fire up, lad. We're not getting into that, mate. We all know she likes. We all know she likes David Moyes. You know what I mean?
Now, David Moyes now.
You hope Leach just splits him in half at Old Trafford. Slim Pickens says a lot. Yeah, that's Onana P. Slabby has it all: the looks, the speed, the mobility, the silky skills. He's a great winger, great striker, great defender. Gyökeres is not officially signed for Arsenal. No. Don't say Onana. Luan says Nicola needs to show that beautiful face. By the way, good morning. I'm still in bed. Come on, get on the camera, Mrs. P. Come and get on the camera, Mrs. P. You look stunning. Get on the camera, Mrs. P. Come and get on the camera, Mrs. P.
No.
All right. Anyway, all right, nice one. Thanks for that anyway, Mrs. P. Hi, Ghost Hunters. What's going on, you legend? Right, anyway, we're going to just read one or two more out, then we're going to wrap up this stream. But thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Make sure you do smash those likes on this stream. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. We're on here daily. We'll be back on here tonight about 9:45, 10 p.m. with the latest transfer news of the evening. And, of course, if there's anything breaking in between, we'll jump straight on. So click the bell icon so you don't miss the notifications either, and subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Nice one, Jamie. Great chat. Thank you, James Costigan. Same to you, legend. Just really hope we buy wisely. Me too. We still need a striker, goalie, midfielder. If we do well and get those positions covered, we should be all right. Yes, have little slabby babies.
Slabby babies.
Little paving slabs. Marry Sancho or Rashford for the money. Steady on now, guys. You hope on the weekend we get to see what we paid for Bremo in the West Ham game. Hot take and Bremo flop at United. I don't think so. He's a hard-working player. Great stats. Going to be a success, lad. Least Amram knows Gyökeres movements from pitch profile. Yoro was your favourite. Hey, yeah, Yoro developing really well. Brings Sesko. Any FIFA stream tonight? Probably not tonight, actually. Me and Mrs. P said we were going to have a little date night tonight. So probably not tonight, mate. Probably think we should have gone in for Richard Rios as there wasn't much competition.
Film suggestions or anybody? Any good films you've watched recently that me and Baz can check out?
Russell Bland, thank you for the super chat. Remember when Jose called Arsene a serial loser? Newest stuff.
Really?
Brilliant. The way you disrespect us this squad. Thank you, Russell. I appreciate you, lad. Thank you for the super chat, you legend. Let's go, little paving slabs. Yes, Daz, thank you for that. Yes, if you want to support the channel on Patreon, there's a few extra things behind the scenes there, guys. I do post some things sometimes. Also, there's a community chat there where you can keep up to in contact with other legends of the Bacon Brigade, even when there is no streams, etc. So if you want to join the Patreon, also you get your name in the intro and outro of the video as well. But obviously, all this content's free. Nobody has to join. But if you fancy supporting over there, it's a good place to support. Thank you, Daz.
I'm still a member. To you.
Yeah.
Not on Patreon, but on the normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the long schlong dons.
Yeah.
Mourinho called Arsene a specialist in failure. Exactly. Who would Mrs. P take from the current man? Oh, goodness me, Thug. I'm not finishing that. Never mind. Jay United, thank you so much, Jay. Links, Francisco, Jamie. We're going to wrap this stream up right now then, guys, but you can follow us on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick at Flying Pig United. We'll keep you up to date with what's going on. That's the end of this stream, but you can keep the debate going after if you want and come back after it's finished and get your thoughts in the not live comments and keep the debate going there, you legends. Nice one. Thank you, Santos. Thank you, all the moderators, everybody in the chat. People like Aaron, people like Luan, Daz, Salford, Berber, Gungshi, everybody in the chat here. legends in the chat, thank you so much for joining aboard the Bacon Express for today's show. We'll be back later on, guys. See you about 9:45, 10 p.m. and if not, before. Legends, nice one, CJ. I like Watkins, lad. I like Watkins, 100%, yeah. When Shaw follows us, you know, sardines. Thank you, guys. BNG, Prod, Aaron, yes, Kate Cadet, you legend. Oh, have a great day, Kate. Thanks for getting in, lad. Thank you, Timo the King. Timo Shafter's alt account. Thank you, Timo, for subscribing to the channel, you legend.
I like the app.
No, not quite. That's Timu, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Or Temu, isn't it?
Oh, is
I think
that
it's
how you
actually
pronounce
Temu.
it? I've always called it Timo.
I don't know. All the Yanks call it Temu, don't they?
Oh,
I think so.
maybe it is then.
I don't know. Anyway, right. Right, guys. She's like Margaret from Little Britain. She is.
Who is that character?
You know, the one where he's like shouting and she's delayed like 10 seconds later. You just hear her voice. I think that's the one, yeah. Anyway, right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, Timu. All right, anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Cheers, Mark, Mud, Cake, all the mods, all the legends, all the members. Big up the green legends like Russell Brand, Kate Cadet, Daz Salford, etc. Aaron for being members, and everybody else in the chat, legends. That's it from me. Have a great one, and I'll see you later for more United news. And remember, Piggy loves you. Thank you, Prod, Robert, Kevin, and everyone else.
Prod.
And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler.
Kevin, this is because sardines will be thrown into the sea.
Thank you very much.
Dracula when I say it.
You do. I want to suck your blood. Ho, 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 ho. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com. So check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.